Is the MFS Wellness Podcast. I am Mike Sinopoli, and it is Labor Day weekend underway here in the United States. I hope the vast majority of you listening have a 3-day weekend coming up, and you can enjoy the hell out of that. If you don't, well, whatever line of work you're in, we're grateful for you, and thanks for what you do. But I'm doing this podcast here. It's going to be a bit awkward, not going to lie to you, because I am on video. And I have been trying to get to video. Not that it's hard to do or anything of the sort. I just didn't want to. I'm not going to lie. A lot of people have told me, hey, man, you got to go to video, put video out there, do video. And I'm just like, yeah, I'll get there. I'll get there. Well, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of thinking about it. So I'm doing it today. Not prepared at all. I don't care. I still have raging imposter syndrome over doing this thing. I will not hide that. I don't think I'm something special at all, but I like doing this. I love doing it. I've been doing this since April of 2022. And, I just kind of kept it going. One of my favorite things to do on this thing is, it's nice to jump on here and talk myself about what I know, health and fitness and nutrition and all of that. But, I feel like there's only so much to be said after a while. After 3 years, we can always talk about calories and macros and training and splits and programming and all that stuff. And that's all great and needed. And there's going to be times where I'm still going to ramble about that kind of stuff. But, I've enjoyed doing podcasts with people and having people on. One thing that I think could really benefit a dynamic when it's me and multiple people or whatever it is seeing everybody on video. So much when it's just me sitting here, I don't know. It's just, you really want to look at my face for 20, 30 minutes or however long I can talk? Because we know I can talk long, long time. Ugh. Well, I get it. But hey, whatever. So, I try to take this podcast. At first it was to promote the business I was doing. It still is. I still do nutrition coaching. I still do personal training virtually. All of that is still out there on the table. So if you want to contact me, I'll give you that info at the end of the show. But what I'm looking for more is more guests, more learning, more people, more of a community here. So that's kind of why I'm pushing over to video. And for now, I think I'm just going to do video on YouTube only. There is ways to do video through Spotify and Apple, but I don't know if I'm going to go there yet because there's a different way to transfer it and it's just a little cleaner this way. So I'm going to try it on YouTube to start. I also don't like doing video because I move around and fidget a lot and I do this kind of shit and then, and I just fucking like do this. And as you can see, I do this crap in my chair and now everyone's like, what's this guy doing? So I liked it. It's also bright as hell in here because I did do the green screen today. Obviously I'm not in the gym, not that I try to trick anybody, but I'm not in a fucking old school gym. This looks like a cool gym though. It looks like it's just raw steel and brick and just like, looks like you go in there and you just, balls to the wall for fucking an hour. It looks like a great gym, but it's not real. So anyways, but I have to put on all these lights. As you can see, there's light shining in my face. I don't like light. I don't like spotlights. I usually will come in here in, a sweatshirt or whatever the hell with the lights almost dimming down and just talk. But, I want this to not be a therapy session for myself. I want this to be something that people can listen to and get some information and learn. So where I'm sort of going with that is this episode is about invitations and intentions. Okay. A transitional period here for what I want to do. I'm obviously, like I had just stated, obviously my services, nutrition coaching and counseling and all of that is available, but, and I will have that time, but I've had some people on this show. I've had some people on here talking with me that have benefited other people. I know that I have had two different guests connect through here and they're friends now, which is awesome. We all kind of talk together. And there's been people that have actually just, hey, come up to me and said, hey, I heard your episode on this or that, and I listened to this and that. It was really good. And I'm like, oh, that's great, and I'm not so much saying, that I need anyone to compliment what I'm doing here, but it's if they've learned something and you get something out of it, that's just so helpful. So that's just kind of what it is. It's not going for likes and not trying to be famous. I don't think I'm special. I'm not here on a pedestal. I'm just a guy with imposter syndrome that has a microphone and a little bit of equipment and likes to do this shit. Who I'm okay putting myself out there and sucking at first and just whatever. They're gonna laugh at you if anyone's listening and you want to do something. Maybe it's not a podcast, whatever. People are just gonna have their opinions and judge it anyways. So just do it. Just do stuff, whatever. Just do things because in 100 years, everyone's gone and doesn't matter. And perhaps whatever you're thinking about doing is something that will be your legacy that will last longer than the time you're here. So go for it. Just do it. That's my little motivation today. Even if you think you suck at it, because I think I suck at all this. So whatever. But the intentions go, and sorry if I'm all over the place. I don't know where to put my eyes and things yet. So just fuck it. Who cares? So some things we've done before. So just what I'm getting at here is, so it's invitations and intentions. So my invitation part of this is to invite anybody who's listening, or if you know somebody to that has something they want to talk about. Maybe they have a business of sorts that applies to self-help, psychology, charity work, health, fitness, nutrition. Doesn't matter, men's, women's health. Just because I'm a dude, I've had women on the podcast that helped me learn some stuff. I had, was it Kayla Johnson was on here talking about she's a perimenopausal coach. I had Christine Zifra on here. She talked about birth injury coaching. I had Natalie Priest on here. She did dog fostering. So as you can see, I kind of like want to branch out to more than just, hey, check these macros out. This is how you lift. This is what you do. There's just so much more to it all. And there's a lot of people with a lot of different knowledge and perspectives. And I don't want this podcast to just be my own. I really don't want it just to be me. There might be episodes here where you just have to listen to me if you choose to click play. But at the same time, I think it's almost better to have either a one-on-one interview style, or just a shoot the shit type, maybe a panel. So if you have an idea of something you've wanted to do, and I don't care who you are, if you like right now, if you think you want to be on a podcast, maybe you want to start one day and you don't know what to do, you just have no idea, but the first thing you want to do is maybe try it out, so you can come try it out here. Just come up with some content, tell me what you want to do, I'll help you with it, and we'll just record one night, and then we'll have it posted, and you'll have it forever. Share it and see what happens, and then you just go from there. So, like I said, I even had my buddy Ben, Heavy Happy. We talked about Ozzy for about a little over an hour. I've had friends on here with sobriety. We talked about being sober for a decade. So many other different things. And it's always interesting, to see. I had a good friend on here a while back that who told me how she was saved by Christ, and we had a nice conversation, and she really opened up, and we learned a lot, and it was a good one, and we have lots of those. So I don't really have any restrictions on topics, but I kind of want to stray away from stuff that gets divisive and ugly, politics, unless it has to come up. I did do a couple of episodes around the election. I was iffy on it, kept it as unbiased as possible. Either way, I don't really care anymore. I'm actually going to do probably an episode. The only episode I might end up doing is how I'm more apolitical at this point, just because of the nastiness around it all and the divisiveness. So I just feel like politics is such a divisive, it's beaten to death. It's blown up so many different relationships and families. And it's to the point to where we just maybe have to think about just not getting so aggressive with it any longer. I don't think where we are right now is a healthy way to be. And I have in the past been a problem for that. And I'm taking myself out of that game as best I can. I don't want to engage any longer unless it's so necessary to get into that it's relevant to something else. That's it. Reality TV, sports, things like that. There's other, stuff out there for that. Anything else is really on the table. I don't really care. I would like to tie it into some sort of two things on here. I want to either learn or laugh. That's it. I want to learn or laugh. And that's what we want to have here. We want to have a good time, but we want to learn some shit. We want to, get our opinions out there, get our what we know out there, share our story. If you have a story, a life story, you don't have to be a professional in something. There's definitely professionals out there like therapists and psychologists, psychiatrists. They're going to help you out with a lot of stuff. But that's definitely number one. And then we have podcasts and places where we just come and listen to other perspectives, because there's real life experiences that do resonate with people that can help them on their path. So I kind of want to put those in front of people as well, which is not me just doing a little bit of research and using Chat GPT and Google and coming up with a list of stuff. Like, that's fine and all, but really I'm just regurgitating shit on the computer and just spewing it out my mouth. And I don't know how valuable that's going to be for people, but sometimes that's what it comes down to in a sense. And we just consolidate some information and we just talk about it from there. But if we have somebody that has firsthand experience, like for instance, when we had Christine on here, there's a birth injury coach and experienced some of that. I can't fucking talk about that. I was on there just learning as much as anybody else was. I don't know. Same thing with perimenopausals. And, I don't know what it is. And for me, who has had many female clients ages 35 through 50. It's beneficial for me to know that, and those kinds of things, just to have some awareness. I'll never fully understand, obviously, but to know that is beneficial, and to not just say, "Oh, that's not my thing." You just learn it, figure it out, and then at least you can talk about the proper diet and training for those types of things. So that's what we're going. I always want to keep it in a positive place, really. There's going to be times where you're going to ruffle feathers, because no matter what happens, you can't be afraid of criticism, because they're going to criticize you anyways, no matter what. So we're going to keep it positive. I don't want to sit here ever bash anybody, hurt anybody, uh, go too far extreme in any direction, really. There'll be a time I know I want to do. I'm going to watch that Biggest Loser. Um, I think there's a documentary on it, and I want to watch it. Not, I did not care for that. I liked that show when it was on. I watched it, but in hindsight, I can't tell you that was probably one of the worst shows that's ever put out there. At least, especially for health and fitness, it is actually very exploiting of the overweight, and put people in a position where they were taken from their realities and thrown on a ranch and doing all this stuff and split from their jobs and their families is very unrealistic. But I'll save that for another time. So that's something that I wanted to get myself into, and don't mind me. I'm like, when I talk, I do this. I dance in my chair a little bit. See, I just kind of move. But whatever. That's just what I do. So sitting still has never been good for me, and we're gonna keep trying. So whatever. Anyways, moving along. I gotta move this thing here down. Okay, there we go. All right. Now, so that's the invitations, because I don't want it to be all about me. It could be whatever you want it to be. Whatever you're into, charity work, self-help, therapy, fitness, nutrition, health, anything. It doesn't matter. You come up with something, and just we're going to go from there. We're going to make a conversation from it. And I'm open to all kinds of stuff. I'm non-judgmental. I've been more judgmental in my life. A lot of people might who know me. You can roll your eyes at it. That's fine. I don't care. I'm trying to change. We're all trying to just progress and change in life, and that's fine. And you got to give people that benefit of the doubt, and I'm willing to do that for anybody. So that's just the way it is. So you can expect that from me, and respect and all that. If you want to come on here, there's not going to be it's not going to be a debate. It's not going to be a challenge. There'll be questions, obviously, maybe hard ones. I'm not afraid to ask a question that might be difficult. I do want it to be a valuable, deeper conversation. So that's something maybe to expect that I like to do. I do want to do better at interview skills, because I do think that people have interesting stories out there, and I feel like if they can share it, they can put it out there, they can get that off their chest a little bit, they can feel better, they can someone else will resonate, and then maybe contact them, and now they have a new way to just have somebody to talk to. And speaking of which, one other thing I wanted to put out there for this, I'm not going to do a whole separate episode on it, but I did start my own virtual support group for people who mainly have been through something in their lives, whether it's a divorce, a death, something that's kind of whatever. It could be anything. That's just, maybe you're just lonely, or maybe you just need somebody. Maybe you just need to talk to people. So I've started that. We have 9 of us right now in a group. We've had a few sessions already, and it's been going pretty well. Everyone's starting to really open up to each other, and everyone has their story. They're able to kind of just be in a safe spot, talk about what they want to talk about, what life's throwing at them. There's no judgment. It's one of those, and you're never going to be silenced if just because someone has a problem that appears objectively that it's here, but you feel like your problem's here. We don't care. You just go ahead and do that. We meet you where you're at, and that's what we do. So I am willing to do more of those. So if that's something that interests you, you can also contact me. So that's basically why I'm doing this episode. I'm testing the video out because I want to do it. I got to watch this back and see if I'm all over the place or where my eyes go. I don't know. So I'm going to do my best at it. But I think the best way to do it would be like this, and then kind of do it maybe like, I don't know if I look at the camera. I don't know if I look away. Whatever. Who gives a shit? Whatever. But anyways, so that's kind of what I'm doing here to kind of cap this one off. Very short episode here. This is an invitation episode to anybody out there who wants to do a podcast episode. Be on it. You pick the content. You pick the topic. I'll help you with it. We'll do an interview. I'll ask the questions. It doesn't have to be an interview. It can just be a discussion. Sometimes it goes interview style. Sometimes it's a discussion. We can do a panel. You can bring people on. It doesn't matter to me. It could be just about anything. And as long as it doesn't cause division and friction amongst people and go too far extreme on any topic, really. If it's a super extreme thing or if it's a gimmicky sale, I don't want to do gimmicky sales and shit like that. If you're selling a very good self-help service or you're working for charities, that's another story. But if we're gonna like, if you're gonna like, if you're selling valves or some shit and you want to just talk about selling valves, we probably shouldn't. It's probably going to be pretty boring. So we don't want to do that. But anyways, so that's really it. So what I'm doing is if you want and to come on the podcast, come up with content with me and do one, contact me. If you want to be in any sort of support group, we can try to get another one going. I try to keep it to 7 to 9 people tops, just to so everyone can kind of feel like it's a little more close knit. So any of that, you can contact me. It's at MFS Wellness. That's going to be LinkedIn. Why did I say LinkedIn first? I don't ever go on that fucking shit. LinkedIn, X, and Instagram and Facebook. And then you can email me, Mike at mfswellness.com. So that's everything that I wanted to get out there today. Just if anybody wants to talk, everyone wants to do this, that's the kind of direction I want to go. We're going to be on video from now on, I believe. So this was my video test, basically, seeing how it sounds. I'm going to change it up as it goes. It's going to evolve, but you just got to start. So, let me know. And until we hear back, we've got a few things coming up. I got a few lined up. We're going to, and I should say it before I sign off, a friend of mine, a good friend of mine out in California, Yoli, she was on the podcast before talking about disordered eating. And her and I are good friends, and we're going to start doing, we did the divorced dads of daughters. Well, Yoli and I are both divorced, and we are going to be talking about post-divorce co-parenting and other things that happen after the fact and how to navigate it, how we did it. So if that's something that you're thinking of or trying to improve, or maybe you're on the verge of it, something to listen to. It's supposed to be constructive and easier worries as best we can. It's never going to always be perfect, but that's what we're going for. And she pushed me to do this on video a bit because I've been talking about it, and she just says, just do it. And here we are. So we're doing it. So thanks to her for giving me the nudge, because sometimes I need that because I will be hesitant to start things, and that's been a flaw of mine. So I'm trying to rectify that and just do it. So, hey, you know what? What do they say? I can't say that corny shit. Like and share this video and drop something in the comments and shit. I can't say that with a straight face. I'm so sick of it. But please subscribe to my channel and all that. It'd be hilarious if you did. So do that, and we'll go from there. So, hey, thanks to all of you who have watched this and listened. I appreciate it. And thank you even more to those who have stared at my face for the last 15 minutes.